This video is by Straight Goods News. SGNews.ca.
Library Parliament says they're not going to say who's on the selection committee to choose his replacement.
We know who's on the selection committee to replace the Governor of the Bank of Canada. It is a bit surprising that the Library of Parliament finds that its appointments process is a notch higher and the public isn't allowed to know. It's quite a big concern for us because the Parliamentary Budget Officer, of course, came in as part of the much ballyhooed Accountability Act. They've gutted every other part of the Accountability Act since they actually formed government. So we're quite concerned about the PBO. I was consulted on the PBO. I was as you know, I was the NDP's finance critic when Kevin Page came in. Not only was I consulted, I got to interview Kevin Page. He insisted on it. The government wanted to make sure that everybody was on side, and our party got to interview him, and I thought he was a sterling choice. Turned out that was a good evaluation. So it's quite clear to us that they're not taking it very seriously. The date for the announced holding of the competition is actually after the end of Kevin Page's mandate. We're really concerned. We're really concerned. Well, sorry, the way they're setting it up. I mean, sending in Tony Clement's intervention today was purely childish. For him to stand there and to try to say this has something to do with our attitude towards the Library of Parliament is frankly beneath contempt. He knows he's playing a political game. We want to make sure we have somebody giving good information to parliamentarians so we can make good decisions for Canadians. Period. Full stop. That's what it's about. And unfortunately, they're playing games around that. So they'll probably send us some party hack, that didn't make it into the Senate, and we'll wind up saying no, and we'll be back to square one, and we won't have the information. But that's not one summer.
Negotiating consensus, is that a role for the PBO?
No. And the PBO is to give information to parliamentarians so we can take decisions. The most important thing we decide to do in this House is how we spend public money. So we can't take those decisions unless we have objective information. Every time there's been a fight between Kevin Page and the Conservatives about numbers, Kevin Page has been proven right 100% of the time. So the Conservatives love to dodge. They love to invent numbers. They love to invent arguments. That's the way they see their role in government. But Kevin Page has been there to cut through all of that BS and give real numbers to Canadians. He's been an extraordinary example of a top-level civil servant serving the public interest. We're really concerned that the process they're setting up is intended to fail, and we're quite concerned that we will no longer have access to that objective information that's so necessary for us to take the right decisions in the public interest.
What about the use of the term, they use the adjective? Now, I don't know if it was in the initial job description when it was first hired, they use the adjective discreet.
They like people who are discreet because anybody who disagrees with them gets attacked personally.